Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of Harry Potter Theory. Today we'll be discussing the history of the Room of Requirement and the mystery of who created it. Located along the left-hand corridor on the 7th floor of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, the Room of Requirement is an ever-elusive chamber that only appears when it is truly needed by someone who just so happens to be passing by. When such a need is sensed by the room, its hidden entrance is said to appear right across the hallway from the castle's well-known tapestry of Barnabas the Barmy, the one which portrays his ill-advised attempt to teach the ballet to a group of trolls. While we know that the Room of Requirement has existed since at least the 1940s, as that's around the time that Tom Riddle would have hidden Rowena Ravenclaw's diadem in the room after he'd made it into one of his Horcruxes, we don't actually know who, if anyone, created this magical space. But before we dive too deep into its history, let's take a look at the magical properties of the Room of Requirement itself. This remarkable chamber embodies the very essence of magic, adapting itself to suit the needs and desires of those who seek it. Whether it's a place to hide, train, practice, or even sneak a Death Eater or two into the castle, the Room of Requirement is a testament to the boundless possibilities of magic. It's also entirely unplottable, as people who are in the room do not show up on magical items like the Marauder's Map. This is completely out of the ordinary, as in most cases, the map has the ability to reveal and pinpoint anyone, living or dead, with their true identity and exact location within Hogwarts and the surrounding grounds. But where did the Room of Requirement come from? Was it created by a witch or wizard? Or did it simply manifest itself, coming into existence thanks to the magical properties of the castle itself? Well, if we are to believe that it was created by someone, which I personally do, the first question that must be addressed is whether or not the Room of Requirement has always existed. Was it constructed at the same time as the castle when the school was first founded? For if it was, then the answer to this question is seemingly quite simple. The mysterious architect of Hogwarts, an unnamed wizard who is only known by his statue near the entrance to the school, is likely the person behind its creation. Considering that this wizard's magical architecture was integral to the construction of Hogwarts, perhaps he also made the Room of Requirement as an intricate safeguard for the school. By adapting itself to the various needs of the castle's inhabitants, it could serve as protection for the school's students and faculty during times of crisis. And given the fact that there are seemingly boundless magical features, chambers and passageways within Hogwarts to discover, it's rather reasonable to believe that the Room of Requirement was just another fantastic bit of magic that the Hogwarts architect put together when building the castle in the 10th century. Another theory about who created the room, which would also put the origin of the Room of Requirement around the 1100s, involves none other than one of Hogwarts' founding wizards, Salazar Slytherin. Slytherin was clearly in favour of the development of hidden rooms meant for clandestine magical interests. Just look at the Chamber of Secrets, which was indeed created by Slytherin. Perhaps Salazar created the Room of Requirement first, so that he could take some time away from his fellow founders and their students, wallow in the fact that Hogwarts was admitting Muggleborns, and plot the breeding of his deadly basilisk. Given his penchant for secrecy and hidden chambers, the idea that the Room of Requirement is an extension of his legacy doesn't seem all that far-fetched. Or perhaps the room was a collective effort of all four founders, who may have built it for a much more uplifting reason. Perhaps Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff and Slytherin created it together with a unified desire to create a haven of knowledge and growth within the castle. Just one more mystery for curious, inquisitive students to uncover during their studies. Other ideas abounding on the internet suggest that ancient wizards with extraordinary powers are the ones who contributed to the room's inception. Some even go as far as to say that the Room of Requirement's creation might be linked to ancient, hidden magical bloodlines. These mysterious families might have possessed unique abilities to manipulate space and time, allowing them to create a chamber that transcends ordinary magic and appears only when needed. Legends have even mentioned Merlin, who was among the first cohort of students to receive an education at Hogwarts. Considering his reputation for extraordinary feats of magic, it's definitely not a theory that I outright reject. Another, lesser-known idea revolves around the potential involvement of the Hogwarts house elves. Known for their deep connection to magic and their unmatched dedication to the castle's needs, house elves might have contributed to the room's creation, channeling their unique brand of magic into crafting a space that caters to Hogwarts inhabitants. Perhaps one of the most plausible theories is that the creation of the Room of Requirement was a collaborative effort. Witches and wizards from different walks of magical life and blood status, united by their shared desire to provide a space for learning, growth, and protection, could have combined their talents to bring this remarkable room into existence. Regardless of its origins, the Room of Requirement served as an invaluable magical space within Hogwarts for years. Depending on how long the room existed, there are likely generations of students before Harry who discovered its wonders and used it for their own purposes. But specifically while Harry and his classmates attended Hogwarts, the Room of Requirement became a place where they could be safe, learn advanced magic, and resist the Death Eaters that infiltrated the school in the late 1990s. We also know that in 1994, Professor Dumbledore used the room when he stumbled upon it while needing to use a lavatory. Here, the Room of Requirement became a space full of chamber pots. It's rather unclear whether or not Dumbledore knew that he had used the Room of Requirement or not, but the fact remains that he mentioned his experience in passing to Harry afterwards. The first time that Harry actually learns about the room, however, is through Dobby the house elf, which helps support the theory that perhaps the Hogwarts house elves were the ones responsible for creating the room. In his description of the Room of Requirement, Dobby calls it the come and go room, and while the room does become whatever the person needs the space to be, it's also worth mentioning that when two or more people require the same thing, an identical version of the room is produced. For example, when Tom Riddle needed a place to hide his Horcrux in the 40s, the Room of Requirement became the same version of itself that it transformed into when Harry needed a place to hide his potions textbook during his 6th year at school. So it is in this same version of the Room of Requirement that Harry first sees Rowena Ravenclaw's diadem, which he later discovers is one of Voldemort's Horcruxes. For reasons such as this, the Room of Requirement is also referred to as the place where everything is hidden. The final event which we know to have taken place in the room is when Harry attempted to retrieve and destroy Voldemort's Horcrux, but was followed by some of his classmates who supported the Dark Lord. Here, Vincent Crabbe, a misguided Slytherin student, cast a spell of Fiend Fire, which ended up overrunning the room in powerful, deadly flames, killing Crabbe and likely destroying much of the space itself. Sadly, it's believed that this may have led to the permanent destruction of the Room of Requirement, though this is unconfirmed. And with that, we've come to the end of today's video. What did you think? Who do you think created the Room of Requirement? Please share your thoughts in the comments below, and as always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, remember, it does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live.